Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to Beacon, another episode here of our Alien Actual Play on Althaven with the Stream Punks. It's good to see everybody. We're coming on live tonight. It has been a very warm day in Los Angeles, so if you're hearing my air conditioning blowing on me in the background, don't worry, I'm going to be shutting that off during the narrative because I don't want to spoil the mood, you know. Yeah, there's going to be lots of fun stuff happening tonight. But before we get into all of that, let's go ahead and get into some quick announcements. I currently, all I have, and I'm developing something of a reputation for this, I'm kind of usurping Bonnie's position as somebody who announces an upcoming announcement but can't announce yet. So in the spirit of avoiding that tonight, I'm going to remain quiet and pass this off to anybody else who has something they would like to share with anybody tonight before we get started.
Ooh,
yeah,
I do. All right, got a couple of things. One, tomorrow is our end of the month coffee subscriber game. It is the continuation of the story of Big B and Dash. What happens when a former henchman and a superhero intern find out they were roommates the whole time? Come hang out and find out. Also, on the Telltale Twitch channel, we are doing a all POC Star Wars ttrpg marathon. I will be GMing the first game, and it's Glorious Bastards meets Star Wars. What happens when a bunch of people decide that if the powers that be aren't going to deal with the First Order, they're just going to do it themselves. So that's the premise. That's the game. We've got a fantastic cast. It's the same cast from our Harlem Unbound game. So just come check it out. It's going to be a ton of black fun in space. That's me.
Amazing.
You should tell people what you're doing Saturday now. Temporarily.
Oh yeah, that's true. So me and Sam, we are partnering up and playing a run through of Baldur's Gate together.
Oh boy.
I'm playing Bobbin Weave, the monk. I may be a bad influence on Sam.
Yes.
I feel like the bad influences on my barbarian honey badger is entirely my own, based at least on last week's performance.
Yeah, we found out what happens when Sam learns that people mistreated an owlbear. There were no survivors.
Yeah, no, it's true. Sam's morality gets questionable when animals have been harmed in any way.
I have no questions about it whatsoever.
See,
I've never seen the switch to violence get flipped so fast.
Yeah. I could have warned you about this, Noir.
Holy crap.
Yeah, sorry.
I was afraid.
Yeah. No, it's kind of an underhanded
all the
tactic.
usual Saturday morning stream with now double the chaos.
Yeah, if I used to play with fire. If ever I realized I had heard Sam being a little too cutesy for too long, I would occasionally just throw in like a threat to something cute, and then and then falsetto became deeper, and then blood was everywhere, and there was dismemberment and cussing, and
it was legitimately a fight we should not have won. And we did.
Yeah, well, yeah, I'm telling you.
Nora's in the same outfit that they were in when that happened. So
yeah.
it's
I still hear their screams.
Noir is just curled up at night. All right, rad. So that's this Saturday. Which channel is that on? That's on.
That's over on my channel.
Your channel? All right,
Twitch.tv/Delevely. Although, stay tuned to Noir's socials because sometimes we stream on our respective channels while playing the same game together. So
when I'm not
right
lazy.
on. Sweet. Okay.
Rare.
Well, thank you guys. Do anybody have any other announcements they'd like to throw out there? Okay. Eliza got on the initiative on that one.
Hi. So the thing that comes to mind first is that I'm going to be doing D&D in a Castle this August 18th through 22nd. Sign up, come do it. It's in Ohio this time.
See you there.
Yeah, yay! Okay, good.
There are castles in Ohio?
Yeah, there's a castle in Ohio apparently. So I'm going to be there, and Eric's going to be there. So sign up for our tables.
Yep. We'll be there.
And then I too have some other things, but I can't announce them yet. not like
Excellent.
not like, oh, Elisa got a job finally. No, unfortunately not.
Oh, I guess I could say I got a job finally.
Woo!
I guess I could say that. Yeah. If you guys
Way to
are
rub
ever
it
in,
in.
if y'all are ever in the LA area, I am now employed at Geeky Teas in Burbank, California. I am their events manager. I'm also running social media for them. It's slow going, getting up underway, but it's nice to be working in the exact same space as my old Shield of Tomorrow set. So that's kind of surreal. But I'm basically working down there. It's going to be a great community hub. Geeky Teas is currently in the middle of moving to its next location. The last day the store is going to be open is on April 30th. But if you were ever on the West Coast, if you're ever in LA or Burbank area, it's the place to go. The new space they're moving into is a bit of an upgrade. It is now 13,000 square feet and has over 10 plus private rooms, as well as a few semi-private rooms, a big back area for wargaming, including a permanent space for mini painting. So friends can just hang out all day and paint minis together. There's going to be all sorts of spaces for events, card games, you name it. I've already been talking to the brand. I've already been talking to the lead BattleTech guy of the community down there. We've been having discussions, and he's invited me to come down and start playing. So God's help me. Yeah. So that's my job announcement. So yeah.
I'd get the BattleTech square on my bingo card. So here we are.
Oh man, I've been diving pretty deep the past couple of days. Geeky Teas is moving to I believe it's 900 West Alameda in Burbank.
Okay, great.
You can find the information up on their website. So yeah,
amazing.
Check it out if you ever get down there.
It's giving me ideas now too.
Yeah, it's good stuff. It used to be an old animation studio, and it's being completely reworked. They've been working so hard on it, so it's gonna be great. Yeah. All right. So anybody else have any other announcements before we get into the bloodletting? Yes, Caitlin.
Well, maybe we should just jump straight to the bloodletting. No, I lost a train of thought. I guested on a mini prequel arc for Pest Control, which is a podcast here on Old Haven. And what was supposed to be a 2-episode thing is apparently turning into a 3-episode thing because our second recording went for many, many hours. And last week I didn't know when the episodes were going up. The episode went up while we were live. So theoretically, very soon you'll be able to catch the third installment of that. It was very fun. It was a blast. I played, we were playing Monster of the Week, and I played the spooky character type. So that was a good time. I got to see Sam and Nora this weekend, and I'm still really happy about that. So that's right.
Riding the high.
I'm still riding the high, and also the little bit of delusion of being in the car for 15 hours this weekend. But we live. It's good. I'm excited to be here.
Right on.
That's my announcement.
Amazing. Can I have one more to add on?
Yeah.
So I am recording an audiobook. It's my first full audiobook recording that I've ever done. And the author is awesome, named H.H. Moss. It's a fantasy novel, it's volume 1 of a fantasy series. So go follow H.H. Moss on socials. I know they're on TikTok, I think on Instagram. Definitely follow them like on Amazon or wherever you get books. And so yeah, in the next hopefully June, we will have an audiobook for you to listen to that I am narrating.
Nice. That's fantastic. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I had no idea.
Yay. And tell them I sent you. If you follow them and find them on social, tell them the Stream Punks and Eliza Pearl sent you.
Sweet. All right. Thank you, Eliza. Anybody else have anything they would like to announce before we kick things off? Yes, Sam.
Yes. To start off, since we're on Althaven, and to promo some Althaven things, the next episode of What We Know comes out on Althaven's YouTube tomorrow. It answers the question on many nerds' minds: why are all my friends playing Helldivers right now, and should I? Find out. Go in line tomorrow. Please check it out. Jake and I got to talk about something that we really enjoy and that we think's a whole lot of fun in the chaos causing department. Alas, it is not unique in the chaos causing department. And y'all would know that, Ox Crew, because y'all were out here fundraising for Doctors Without Borders, and the consequences of those actions are, coming home. There's coming home to roost, but I feel like it's just like coming to burst out of your chest. Anyway, the point being, the Predator watch along. It's time. It is going down this Sunday, May 5th, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Pacific time, and the details for that in Streampunk's Discord watch along with our punks are in said Discord right now. Just put it in. Fresh news. So get all those details and join us because I need the moral support. Gosh dang it. So that's most of what I've got. Beyond that, if you want to find out some news about an organism that might be a D12, go check out my science tomorrow morning.
All right. Thank you very much. And I guess that's all we have for this evening. No more announcements?
Well,
I know you're conflicted. Do you say the tagline when you're not actually when you're happy to be here?
I had so much fun with my friends, and now I'm gonna do this, and now I have to try to hide all of those bloodlusty parts of me that Nara was referring to earlier in our BG3 game, at least for a little while. At least for a little while. So hey, sure, I'm excited.
Let's go ahead and start tonight's chapter of Beacon. Welcome back, everyone. We're going to jump in right where we left off. And right where we left off was a curious moment when you had all started to essentially decrypt this little cryo unit that had been containing a very dangerous vial of black liquid that has become something of the worst kept secret since the Frontier War. Some simply refer to it as the black goo. Some refer to it as the pathogen. You don't have an exact analysis of what is in this vial, but it's pretty clear what it is and what it represents. However, interestingly enough, not only does this vial come with its own cryogenically frozen unit in order to keep it in some form of stasis, but it apparently has a small memory unit attached to it as well, possibly designed in order to seal it, to keep it locked, inaccessible to those who shouldn't be having it. You were able to access it using one of the ports. And of course, Martha, being counterintelligence colonial marine, was able to hack into the security of this device and uncover who it belonged to. And where we last left off was discovering that it was apparently being translated from Russian. This made specific reference to a man named General Mitya Sokolov, and apparently has blood samples taken from a certain prisoner that has also been marked, barcoded. The numbers are an exact match. And it looks like the information that has been referenced by this prisoner's file number indicates that it is somebody immediately causing the sense of familiarity to you, Tig. Never mind that the name itself is kind of a giveaway, but the file number, the barcode file number for that particular classified file that this was underneath, is what's really kind of tipping you off. So where we begin right now is that information has literally just popped up on the data pad as you have all managed to hack into this unit.
A question though, is Martha showing us, or is Martha doing this on her own? That would be.
I wouldn't
We would all be seeing
hiding it. Yeah. I mean,
cool.
I think we're all at the table still, so I would, yeah.
Okay. So, my understanding was this was everyone was kind of leaning over your shoulder while this was happening. But if that's
that is what's happening. That's what I wanted to ask.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
That's what I was asking.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you do have privacy right now. Of course, Kelly is currently finishing his meal in the other room, but you guys are currently alone in here. You have some privacy. The only other person that's in here is Connor, who's your pilot, not part of the main crew, but he is part of the main crew, but he's not part of the main group. He's a little out of touch, doesn't know exactly the significance of why everyone's face suddenly starts to react the way it does. He's in the middle of pouring himself a bland cup of coffee when he slowly stops and starts watching everyone, clearly catching on that something has changed.
Please, someone say something.
I'm not sure what to say.
I think Tig gets up and walks away.
Where is Tig headed?
She just needs to walk. She
You
just
step
walks
out
around.
and immediately just beeline out into the corridor.
Yeah, she just like is pacing, basically. I think she does not know what to do with that again. Like last time she came across this information, we were in a much more dire situation, so she could like bypass it. But since we're just sitting here, like it's dinner time, and now she doesn't have anywhere to put that, and still is, I don't think, wants to process that. So I think just we see the name, it's quiet for a beat. She gets up and like walks out, like
Okay.
not running, but she's just gonna pace in the hallways for a little bit before she comes back in, maybe like 5 minutes later.
You step back out into the hexagonal shaped, dimly lit corridors of the Ilios. Your feet are the only sounds making any noise in here as they step onto the heavy grated plating of this corridor. Immediately kind of turning to your left, you make your way down with just a bit of the ambient hum of the engines going off of standby mode. Tig leaves the room.
I think if it's all right, if it's all right with you, Tig, Doc will follow.
Yeah, feel free.
Just trying to catch you in the midst of your pacing. Couldn't help
She's like
but
shaking her hands and like just kind of back and forth down like one stretch is like
you need to work this out on your own, or you need somebody to talk to.
Not gonna lie to you, Doc, I don't really know. I've not really been faced with that's I don't have enough information to know how to process any of that. Like we knew, but we didn't know. But now here she is again, and not that I forgot about her, but it's
It's real now. It's not a maybe. It's a certainty. Right?
I think it was real before. I think I just could keep moving.
Looks like you're still trying to move.
Yeah, she's like walking like back and forth in front of you. Yeah.
I know you're not. I know it's not stress. Can Doc try and console? Like,
Sure. I do have 2 points of stress. Actually, I feel like I should get another one from seeing that name.
It's worth knowing that Doc, you would probably, because of your experiences, it would definitely infer that even though you know these two, one Marine, one ex-Marine, are uniquely equipped to handle some scary shit that's happened in their lives, it's also gradually dawned upon you that though they are better at controlling said things, they are still very human. And while they might be good at stowing it, you're starting to see the effects of somebody who is definitely under stress. And yeah, if you want to do that, Tig, I say give yourself a point of stress.
Yeah, I would like to activate my calming presence then, which is once per turn, you may reduce the stress level of another character within short range by 1, in addition to normal stress recovery.
Okay.
So it's just, well, if I were you, I'd imagine I'd be a mite angry. Is anger part of what's happening here?
I don't even know what to be angry at. It's
There's so many things.
so many things. I don't have anything to direct it at, and so I think that's like back burner for now.
All right, we'll hold on to it. We'll keep the anger later. Don't let it eat you from the inside.
I'll work on it. Do you okay? Do you remember when I told you about Elizabeth, Buffy?
A little
reason-
bit, but why don't you tell me a little bit more?
The reason that I didn't want to go on the long, far mission is because she's technically my responsibility, even though I'm not there. I'm not with her. That's her mom. It's my best friend, but it's also she's Buffy's mom. Ooh. I don't know. I don't know. I don't even know. I don't even have enough information to be what should I be nervous about, except for the fact that she's maybe involved in this somehow in a bad way. And I didn't even read any more. There's probably more information that would actually give me a reason to be freaking out right now. But I'm freaking out just because You know what I mean?
Well, putting on my maniacal capitalist hat here for a second, I don't think that the girl would be of any interest to these individuals. I think that they got the information that they wanted from the individual that they wanted it from.
Yeah, but it's like a genetic thing. It's a biology thing. It's a bioweapon. I mean, Buffy's part of her is that I didn't even think if they're keeping info on her. I think she's just like spiraling, like very clearly just like talking herself in circles.
I think Doc is gonna approach like arms out, like clearly shoulder level, but like, is it okay?
Yeah, you could. Yeah. She wouldn't stop you.
Just hands on the shoulder. All right.
And she like stills.
Then I think the first course of action is we need to find the date that she was inundated with whatever this is. Now, hopefully what we find is that it happened well before Buffy was conceived. In that case, we can at least put that part of your mind at ease. What do you say?
Sure.
All right.
I think this is like the youngest you've ever seen Tig look. Like, I think she's just like fully like wide-eyed at you, like kind of hunched in on herself. Like when you put your hands on her shoulder, she like, I think, slouched even a little bit more. And just like,
you're not the Marine right now.
No, she's not. She's not like fully panicking. I think you can see like there's like ping-ponging. You're good at emotions. I think there's like this ping-ponging of like not sure where to land on any one emotion in her head. So she's just kind of like lost.
I think in this moment, Doc knows that Tig is most confident when you know where to start with the problem. It's just like when you see a combat wound, you know immediately how to act. So what Doc is trying to do is just find enough information for you to ground yourself and
give her a task. Yeah.
Start the project. So we're going to delve into whatever information we have, and we're going to find that date.
Okay.
All right, and that way we can put that part of your mind at ease, or we know that we need to hightail it to Buffy.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. You're right. Yeah, I just need to know more. I don't know if I want to know more, Doc. I'm gonna be honest. I need to know more, but if I know more, I'm gonna know more then, and that's. We'll start walking back towards where everyone is, and I don't know if that's worse. I don't.
Well, you don't have to know it alone.
I think she genuinely deflates at that. Like,
I tell you what, my mother-in-law made the worst sweet potato pie, but it was easier to deal with because we all took a slice.
Okay. Let's go eat some sweet potato pie. Okay.
Let's go eat some sweet potato pie. All right.
She's gonna like elbow you a little bit.
There we go.
As y'all are headed back, there has been a time passage in the common area in the galley. Have either one of you, Martha or Isaac, been doing anything, or do we want to just find out what happens when they return?
Yeah, I was wondering that too.
They aren't gone long.
Yeah, I think when Tig walks out, Martha just kind of puts her hands, puts her head in her hands. Oh, this is so complicated.
All right. The technology?
Oh, well, that's not what I meant. I meant Tig. Tig.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Of course.
Tig knows some people. This person. Potentially. You know, the whole bioweapon thing, it's already awful. And then when you find out someone you know has been affected by it, even worse.
Yeah. I guess I was thinking about how bad it is that anyone's affected, but it has to be worse if it's someone you know, right? I guess.
Subjectively, yeah, it's all bad though.
Okay. How can we help?
Well, I think she'll come back at some point, and then we'll just see how she's doing.
Okay, so I can't help by decontaminating the other ship or something.
Well, yeah, that's gonna probably need to happen too,
Okay.
but not yet. We'll make a plan when they get back.
Oh. Okay.
How are you feeling, by the way, since your repair job?
I'm doing perfectly fine. Why?
I was just checking in on my patient.
Oh. I guess I'm your patient.
Of course.
Operating according to expected parameters.
That's good to hear.
And
Let me
less
know
squeaky.
if... Oh, yes, much. Let me know if you ever need anything. If you ever feel weird and want me to check stuff out.
What would feel weird?
Like if you feel like you're glitching, or if you feel like, there's some kind of strange pathways that your electrical impulses shouldn't be taking, but they are. I don't
Like
know if you
cake?
would actually feel that way. Well, cake would be a good feeling.
Tig.
I mean, like cake? I keep hearing
Tig.
cake.
Tig. TIG.
Like Tig.
Yeah.
I just kept hearing
the
cake.
electrical impulse is going something weird. I mean, she's sweet.
Are Tig's electrical impulses doing weird things?
Yeah, they're giving her weird feelings.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Yes, if you ever feel
That?
like that. Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Do you
Have you
ever
ever? Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely. I mean, I'm
What's that
trained.
like?
Well, I'm trained not to do it in the field, because lives are at stake. But like when I'm on my own time, when I'm just being Martha, yeah, my brain does weird things.
Like what?
Well, I mean, I sometimes will sit at a window and actually count the stars.
There's so many.
I know, it's ridiculous, but I do it. It's so fun and yeah.
You hear this exasperated sigh suddenly from the other side of the table, having almost forgotten that Connor was there. And he sets down a coffee cup pretty handedly and he says, "This is a charming conversation, but isn't there like a world-ending bioweapon sitting on the table with us right now?"
We're taking a pause for Tig because Tig has some feelings about things. And when Tig and Doc come back, we'll continue our planning about what to do about this thing.
I just think we're in over our heads. I think we hand this off to someone else. This is so much more than the rest of us. Aren't you military? Shouldn't you be handing it over to your superiors or something?
Well, Connor, do you want me to hand it over to the military who might actually unleash it on civilians?
No, the moment I said it, I realized how stupid that was.
I mean, I don't know who we would hand it over to. I know what you're thinking because I've thought the same thing. But I think it's on us to be very careful what our next move is.
Yeah, we just throw it into a fire or something.
Well, we have talked about throwing it into a sun. I'm still kind of a fan of that plan.
Sun is made of fire.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, I'm down for that if we want to do that.
I think that might be our best plan. But then there's also the very strong possibility that there's other samples of this So it would be best for us to do a little bit of research on it. No, besides throwing it into a sun, are there any other ways to destabilize it or neutralize it so that other people don't get hurt? That's my plan anyway. That's what I'm thinking. And I think Doc is on the same page. But yeah. Are you feeling okay, Connor?
No. No, I signed up for a job where I thought I was going to be transporting doctors to places where people were sick and they were going to get healed, and we'd come back and get more and take it and back and forth. I thought this was supposed to be a shuttle mission. We were picking up a doctor and then taking him back to Beacon Station so that he could go off with the rest of you on the corner of the galaxy doing whatever. I'm a truck driver. I ship things around in space. This is so beyond anything. I'm not meant for things like this, you know? Running pirates, that's about the extent of any of excitement that I've had. I'm a little... We're just way out of our pay grade here, is all I'm saying.
Yeah. You're not wrong. Yeah. Yeah, you're not wrong, Connor. I feel like when I first joined Beacon, felt like everything was above my pay grade. I guess you're really part of the team now.
Yeah, I guess so.
It'll feel normal soon. I've been with Beacon my whole life.
You're getting better at that. You're getting much better at that.
I think they're coming back.
Turn towards the door, very obviously, like.
Okay.
I think Tig looks a little wilty when she comes in, but she looks like mostly fine, if not, tired. I think when she kind of comes in and is, chin up, as embarrassed about making a little bit of a scene, but seems to have put herself back together a little bit. She's walking in shoulder to shoulder with Doc.
Okay.
All right, folks. So, I think we should talk about the elephant or the bioweapon in the room. I've been doing some thinking, especially with the latest revelation of what we've discovered in terms of what this has been used for and what this has done, and the fact that it is hit so close to home. Every part of me wants to use this as evidence to put the sons of bitches that did this where they belong. But the more I think about it, the more I think about the resources expended to acquire it, to use it, to test it, to hide it, the more I realize we might have a better chance punching God. I don't think anybody should have this. It's evidence. It's truth. It's physical. It's there, but it's wrong. So I think we need to decide as a group if we're all in agreement with seeing the destruction of this thing.
I'm in agreement, Doc.
Yeah, throw it in the sun. It's not helping anyone and it could hurt people. And there's plenty of evidence about its existence indirectly. If you wanted that for putting bad people away, throw it in the sun.
It's not a bad idea.
It's the only way to be sure.
Well, is that something that this vessel can achieve, sir? Look to Connor.
Throwing something into the sun?
Hey,
Well, we don't exactly have a launcher. And, I mean, not even Isaac could possibly calculate the variables in trying to launch something with an overthrow hand into the sun.
I think you just challenged Isaac.
Well, no. Mother would have complications doing that, and Mother literally plots the ship courses across the galaxy. I'm just saying the gravitational constants of the planet. I'm just saying there's got to be that we can do it, but we need to figure out a practical way of how it's done. I had an idea.
Please.
Well, it's a bit of a tricky, and it would probably require Martha doing something about this, but it would be easy enough to slave the mother unit on the other vessel to ours, and so that we could simply send that entire ship with the thing on board into the sun. That is doable, because Mother could just guide it in. Otherwise, I'm not really sure how else you send that thing away.
Yeah, does that ship fly? Do we know if it's functioning?
That's a good question. I don't know yet. We would need to actually get in there and find out.
Okay, yeah. I'd be happy to set
Understood.
something up. Hopefully, yeah, the ship itself won't need too many repairs to get it up and running, but either way, it's worth it for
There
getting
is
this thing out of our hands.
there is the slight concern about the fact that there could be a pathogen on that ship that we are unaware of.
Right. And I mean, we should assume that there is.
Send the whole thing into the sun.
Yeah.
Sounds like a win to me.
Yeah, but to get the ship launched and up in space, we'll need to go on it, which means that pathogen needs to be well, Isaac, you've mentioned going on and cleaning it up. We also could go on in suits, very good suits to protect us from it.
Give
That
me the
would-
computer equipment. I would need to give you remote control. I'll go on and get the ship running as much as it needs. Whatever this pathogen thing is, probably can't get me.
True. You could bring it back to us though, so we would still want to make sure you are protected.
Yeah, we
And
should
not-
wash me down in acid or something afterward.
That
Yeah.
might be a little extreme, but we'll come up with something a little less
No,
detrimental.
you're right, because they're made of acid, and so it should be something. I'll think about it.
All right. Thank you for doing this, Isaac.
Of course. Just get me whatever I need to put on the ship, and I'll do it.
All right. And while Martha, you are taking care of the mother on the other vessel, and Isaac, you are working to make sure that it is flight capable. I volunteer myself for paperwork. There's a date that I think I need to find in these documents, and well,
Which documents are you referring to?
I'm looking towards the information that we found on Project Dark Star. Anything that we've picked up along the way.
And so you have the initial stuff,
Mm-hmm.
the initial documents that you all discovered
On Paxton's Reach.
back
if
on
I'm not
Paxton's
mistaken.
Reach, which
Mhm.
you've all been through, and largely consists of lists of reported subject test names,
Right.
as well as assigned their file numbers have all been assigned in the database. So that information you do have, and it does have some basic readouts on each individual person, like their blood type, samples taken, initial notes, and stuff like that. On this cryofreeze, just to completely clarify, on this unit that you've all discovered, that you've all managed to pull some information off, the only data that you've been able to find is the name that it's listed to, the current temperature, the a strange code that seems to denote the name of this particular vial, which you might be able to cross-reference with the files.
Yeah, that's what he was going for. It's
and-
like Oh,
Mhm.
go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, and just like, and again, the file number of that seems to coincide with what Tig believes to be Gemma's original file number.
Yep.
So, but those were, to my knowledge, those were the only files y'all's had. I just wanted to clarify that we
Mhm.
were on the same page because it's been a
Yeah.
hot minute since we pulled those up. So,
I figure with this new information going back to the Paxton Reach documents,
can you give you some context?
I believe Martha found additional information while we were chasing Maitland, but I don't think we have copies of that.
You also have a shard, a sliver of Maitland data that you have not gone through as well.
Half
That-
Maitland.
Yeah. So
A whole
on
Demi
my
Maitland.
on my little like pad thing,
Mhm.
that Maitland shard is partitioned, and then all the other data would
It's
just
currently
be
firewalled.
Yeah, all the other data would be available to you to look through, Doc.
So-
Because
yeah.
I've
So Martha-
like, logged in
Let me go ahead and clarify this for you because Martha, what is your Comtech skill?
a lot.
Give me your Comtech skill. Is it 5?
Okay.
When you say
It
a lot.
is so 5 wits, Comtech 4.
Okay, so even at 4 and with the 5 wits, you are among the premier experts in your field, like top-notch counter intel for the Colonial Marines. So I can tell you that without having to make a roll, because I've been sensing, especially in conversations, plus we've all watched enough sci-fi movies that our imaginations are jumping, but the truth is what you've pulled from Maitland and what has been dropped onto your pad, your Siegson device, the personality construct of Maitland is incomplete. It's broken. So there is actually not an artificial consciousness in that program. It's literally fractured data sets, memories, and this is my way of telling you that with a 4 Comtech, without having to make a roll, Martha would know there's no danger of rogue AI trying to take over your system if you were to open it up. Maitland, for all intents and purposes, is a ghost at this point and has largely been lost because of his end. But pieces of who he was exist and can be relived or recycled or examined. So yeah, it's kind of like pieces of like little crystal pieces of his memory that you can look at.
Okay.
Cool. With us knowing that, Doc again would volunteer to go through the documents that we haven't really had time to just kind of sit in. I mean, studying is kind of his thing, so it's just like
sure.
Yeah, I just put on my nerd hat. I gotta take off my maniacal capitalist hat first, though. There it is.
Okay.
That other one hurts my head.
Okay. So who would like to go first? Who would like to start? Who would like to enact their plan first? By this point, by the way, Connor is going to elect to stay up on the flight deck because if you're able to establish a link between the 2 mother systems, he can actually coordinate doing the lead piloting from this ship.
So it sounds like Doc wants to examine the Paxton's Reach documents. Me and Isaac have a plan for Isaac going over to the... Okay.
I was just gonna add, I'd study the Maitland stuff too, since we know it's safe now, if that's okay. Just to check everything. If that's okay with you guys.
That's cool with me, yeah.
Okay.
I'd love, since I'm about to go to the ship, above table, would love to be back in time for Maitland stuff, okay?
Yeah, I was gonna say that's gonna be pretty important to Isaac.
Yeah.
I'll save that towards the end then, if that's okay.
I think that works out perfect. We understand each other.
Yep.
I think it's and I'll work on some Maitland stuff, and you probably clock a little bit of nonverbal, like.
Yep.
From Isaac. But they don't say anything, so we can go off that. Thank you.
Okay.
And then Isaac, so you're gonna kind of like be my eyes and ears as well on the other ship, and I'll talk
be
you
your
through
Isaac and Earsick.
Isaac and Earsick. Yeah, and we'll set that up for flight.
Cool. Tick.
Yeah.
Looks over at where Aaron Fisher is, like the broad direction. Do you think the duffel bag is real?
I've been kind of thinking about that too. It's the thing he got stuck on. Whatever this threw him back to, the bag is significant, even if it wasn't from today, actually. So I don't know. It could be. Might be. Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, I'll keep an eye out for it, but I don't think it'll be on the ship.
Probably not.
If you get any time, could you look for it?
Yeah, probably. Maybe I can find quarters. I'm not going to be very useful in the tech stuff or the flying stuff, and probably not the studying stuff either. That's why I didn't actually go to medical school. But I can snoop. I can be good at snooping. Let me know if you need backup.
Okay, I will. Well, I'll be on the comms.
All right. Good luck.
Okay. What are we doing first? Who would like to go first?
I'll do the boring stuff first. I don't mind. Let's study. Let's freaking have a hardcore study session.
Okay.
Okay, but I thought you said you were doing the boring stuff.
So
montage page flipping.
Cut to basically you finding a lamp in, we'll say you're set up currently in the infirmary. Because it's literally the only place you have to sit down that has a desk. So as you wheel up to it and move one of these adjustable lamps, very retro in that regard, just kind of shines down onto the desk, and you spread out some space and lay the data pads out in front of you and start scrolling through this data, these deep green screens, the bright green font. It's just scrolling through this sort of mountain of numbers and code. The translation of a lot of this from Russian to English, it is revealing a little more information, giving you a little bit more context. Because Martha has already rolled and done all that is needed to do to cross-reference the two data sets, you're not going to actually have to roll anything here.
Okay.
So just tell me specifically what it is you're looking for. Any anomalies, or are you looking for something specific?
Primary piece of information that Doc is looking for is a confirmation on the date of the infection for Tink's friend.
There are no dates supplied here. But you do get confirmation when you compare the two numbers on the vial and on the file database for Gemma. They're a direct match. This has something to do with Gemma. Now, Gemma's file does have some information listed.
The second primary bit of information is any mention of a daughter, a child, or offspring.
Nothing like that.
Okay, good.
All you discover is that it has, as a quick reminder, there's another reference that Gemma apparently has a genetic mutation that is what you see is a reference to a naturally occurring genetic mutation in her DNA that is showing promising response to a modified version of whatever this substance is.
Okay.
It is annotated at like the bottom corner of the file.
Okay. Now question. I know it's expensive and it takes a very long time, but can I put forward a call to Earth?
Yes, you can absolutely put in a call to Earth. However, just to give you an idea of what that looks like in the alien universe. First of all, it costs money. Accessing any sort of interstellar satellite system that uses FTL technology to send a transmission back, depending on how far you want to go. In this case, realistically, you're looking at, let's see, you are 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, roughly 16 sectors from Earth.
Mm-hmm.
You are on the edges of the frontiered space. Roughly 4 months in hypersleep. Transmitting of that distance back to Earth is going to cost a pretty penny. And the longer, the cheaper you go with that purchase, the longer it takes for it to get there. You're basically, it's think of the death of net neutrality, which, by the way, was recently restored, apparently. I haven't read up about the DSLOs about that, but we'll see. But yes, they throttle transmission speeds, and only the people who pay the most are allowed to send some immediate messages back. Doc, it also would occur to you at this particular point, because you have experience transmitting very sensitive material via deep space transmission, having been a doctor, having to let family know about how other family members are doing and such, that it is not out of the realm of possibility that sensitive data could be intercepted by people who are pirating data, especially interstellar communications like this.
Okay.
My way of saying that
This
if you
could
transmit something like this on an open call across interstellar space, there will be a role by the GM.
Okay. I am okay with that role. I would like to spin a story point in a very weird way.
Okay, tell me.
The person that Doc is calling is Marianne Albright,
Okay.
the current CEO of his company, and his daughter.
Okay.
I would like, this is completely okay if it's no. I would like for them to have their own way of talking, like just a code that only they understand.
Smells code.
Okay.
All right.
Let me pull up that story point for you.
Mm-hmm.
We have our super punks, our 8 supporter super punks. Thank you all so much. This story point is coming to you from Kerrigan29. So, with that story point, you were able to add to the narrative that Doc and his daughter, perhaps some point when they were very young, had a game that they would play.
Final Fantasy X, did they speak Albed?
Assuming a universe this dark ever had something as pure as Final Fantasy. But sure. A game that you all played together, and perhaps a favorite childhood story that you read together. You created your own language, but for any point you guys have slang or nicknames that you have. It's not a full language. You're not going to be speaking Klingon to each other,
right.
But you can use a lot of you can infer a lot of things through words that you've created together. Yes.
The basic message is discovered a genetic anomaly. Pull records and send them to me found a genetic anomaly. Confirm whether individual, and I'll give the name, carries this anomaly. And the name is Buffy.
So you're dropping the name Elizabeth Riley.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Basically, I just need to see if she has the same genetic anomaly.
So Buffy does not live on Earth.
Oh, okay.
Not to say that you can't, but she is a marine family, so she would be like recorded places. So depending on what your daughter has access to, there's just that she does not live. The family lives on a military base.
Scotty doesn't know.
Don't tell.
So yeah, just
throwing
that up there.
So yeah, because
we know
Albright,
who knows.
Albright
as players. Yeah.
This is so Albright would know the can of worms Albright is opening though.
Mm-hmm.
So Albright, there's a few things you would know about the request you're making. One, if your daughter receives this encoded and you're asking something specific like this, she's going to know something is up and you need this. And to do what she can to get it. She's going to know that, which kind of equips her for what comes next. But here are the challenges. She's going to be trying to find medical records for a patient that is not under her care. So that is going to be next to impossible as it is. And it'll be a military family. I mean, she's going to have to pretty much come up with a reason to get a hold of it. Not to say that she can't, especially considering you are from a wealthy family. And there is a penchant in the alien universe for people in this world to respond well to large sums of money, despite who they are or who they work for. So it's not out of the realm of possibility. But as you were typing in this message and getting ready to transmit it, the next thing you have to be aware of is going to be a roll.
Okay.
Because the truth is, Doc, you are a man who does not think like a spy or counterintelligence. You don't have the instincts that maybe Martha or Tig, who have fought an enemy that is looking to counter everything they are doing. You are a good man trying to help somebody who might be in danger. So I'm going to leave this to fate.
Okay.
You've spent enough time with Martha and Tig that maybe they've rubbed off on you. So I would like you to make a wits comtech check. And it is going to be at an increased difficulty.
All right.
I'm going to set the difficulty of this. I'm going to set the difficulty at this at hard. So it's going to be at -2 dice.
All right. Ooh. Okay, here we go. So that's going to be a total of 7 dice that I'm rolling.
Okay.
Here we go.
Do you want to take a story point?
I'm going to pull a GM card on this. And for the first time in this entire campaign, I'm not going to allow a story point for this. Because the player is deliberately taking a risk.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a high risk, high reward kind of risk. And I'm not going to let a story point get you out of it. I want to find out what the
Hell yeah.
All right.
Get it.
So this moment's going to be made even more stressful because I have 1 success and 1 face hugger. So now I have to do a panic roll.
Okay, make a panic check.
Keeping it together. You managed to keep your nerves in check, barely.
Doc, as you're about to hit send, you pause. Because it starts to occur to you. If there is something going on, all the players in the shadow, people you can't anticipate, this general person that's now come up twice, Project Darkstar, which is supposed to be dismantled, but still has people trying to revive the program. There are people moving unseen, and you are well aware that a strike team was sent to assassinate all of you during a false SOS flag operation. There are people out there that might actually be looking specifically for all of you right now. And it occurs to you that when you hit send, you might flag everything. The name Elizabeth Riley, if it is connected to Gemma, and if she is part of some top secret Black Ops experiment with this pathogen, you might be sending up a flare gun to every evil motherfucker in the sector and beyond. Then there's a chance, there's a real chance that they don't know, and that you might, if you hit send, might just be getting that 1 point higher in the initiative roll of trying to figure out if everyone is safe or if they need to be hidden. Your finger lingers over the send button, and you are aware of the small bead of sweat that spatters to the surface of the desk in front of you, right next to the data pad, as your hand trembles. Considering the implications of what you are about to do, you could be saving or condemning this little girl. You hover for a moment, and then it occurs to you in that minute, Doc, you are far past the time where you can afford to play it safe. The things you have seen and the reach these people have, if they don't know, they will know. It is only a matter of time. You have the Ilios, and you've got this goo. It's not destroyed yet. Who knows? You might have more power here than you think. In fact, you might, God help you, be able to use this goo as a bargaining chip if the girl ever gets into danger. You're not out of options. You're not powerless. Maybe you were when you first came out to this frontier. A new doctor who'd never been outside of Earth's pomp and circumstance. But things have changed, and you've seen things and done things. This isn't the same crew that first got together. This is a crew that when they touch down or they get involved, they save people. They make a difference. You're not powerless. And you manage to swallow a very dry throat as you hit the send button and see the transmission in progress.
Actually, Doc is gonna kind of say to himself, I can't do this, not like this. And then he's gonna add, I love you. And then he sends it. That's what my boy would do.
All right. It sends. It says transmitting.
Well, we're in the shit now, lads.
Message is
Astronaut
sent.
Always were.
Ooh.
All right. Thank you for using Weyland-Yutani Commercial Transmission Enterprises. We hope if you have feedback about our service, and it gives data down below as the transmission confirms that it is sent.
Well, all right. That little girl's gonna be fine. And I'm just gonna keep going through the papers like it's just back to studying.
As the panic roll table says, you keep it together. Barely. Cut 2. Who would like to go next? Who is next on that?
If Martha needs to give me, like, a USB to put, not actually a USB, but the equivalent. If there's something that Martha needs to do before Isaac gets on the ship that they need to bring with them, then that probably needs to happen first for that corner of the scenario.
Not really. Martha has already gained access to Mother on the other ship. So really, Isaac just needs to get over there and set up a comm link between from that ship to the Ilios to begin the process of remote piloting and anything else you want to do
fine.
over there. Yeah.
Cool.
I can set up a comm link. Based on sort of the tone of the group, I can set up an agitated link. That might actually be what's warranted. But in the meantime, yeah. Also, I guess that means I don't get to scavenge all the extra stuff from the ship because it has to be flight worthy.
Well, I mean, it only has to be flight worthy.
That is true.
Right. Yeah.
And they have cannons.
They got all sorts of stuff over there.
Yeah, we should take some of that.
I want it.
Let me be useful in ship combat. I can't do shit.
We can't do shit.
If this was a Colonial Marines game, that would be totally different. But in this case, it's true. Y'all are, yeah.
Also, isn't it illegal to modify this type of ship to have weaponry? Wasn't that stated at one point?
Yeah, typically a Marine would definitely know because Marines have to enforce the Colonial Protection Act. So they are constantly having to make sure that that people are not on the frontier trying to hurt other people. So civilian craft like this Corvus, for example, these Corvus crafts are not designed or authorized to carry weapons unless they are in specific use under sanction of the United Nations or the Colonial Protection Act themselves, which almost none of them are. Weyland-Yutani and Siegson and other companies have been known to carry weapons on board their ship, and that is like shipside weapons. That's not unusual because sometimes you are entering into spaces where you have to fight pirates, but it's very uncommon even then. So yeah, it is almost a dead giveaway that if you encounter a ship like this, it is probably a pirate ship of some kind. Yeah.
Okay, we'll find a loophole. We'll work on it.
I mean, you guys keep in mind, y'all are United Nations at this point. You are working for the UN.
Ask forgiveness, not permission. Maybe we got a gun now.
I have it.
So
a very big gun. Anyways.
Well, if I don't try to salvage it, then I definitely won't have a very big gun. But also, I was thinking of the cryopods and some stuff like that. We came very close to capping out the number of people we could save based on our cryopods, and that I don't want that to be the limiting factor on how many people we can help. Which is it bothering anyone else? Isaac's just kind of talking on comms. In like the scary bloody part of the building, did you see any synthetic people? How'd they fly here? Did they fly here subliminally? Or did they have a synthetic person?
Did we see?
No, there's no synthetic person in that bloody pile.
Okay.
And your mercenary friend Seekson in the infirmary has made no mention that they had a synthetic. Keeping in mind that synthetics are actually very uncommon and extremely expensive and not prone to being allowed to be taken as prisoners or equipment when piracy takes place. In fact, pirates would do well to JKLOL if they run into a synthetic that has decided it does not particularly agree with your act of piracy.
Okay, so
yeah.
Oh, sorry.
No, I was just going to say, just as a quick reminder, synthetics technically all have a behavioral inhibitor chip that prevents them from causing harm. So typically, if a synthetic is taken captive, it's not always. It's you typically it's just pretty dark, but typically, if the synthetic is taken captive, it's usually for parts, because the synthetic is not going to cooperate and also will not try to harm them. So it's either left behind or taken for parts.
So on a ship, on a deep space travel ship that goes FTL that doesn't have a synthetic crew member, are there just like periodic stops for like long deep space travel so that the crew
No.
can wake up and
typically a mother system just takes care of it for them.
Mother just does. Okay, that
mother
makes
just
more
does it.
sense. Okay.
Almost all
Got it.
commercial craft do not have a synthetic.
Yeah,
It is
yeah.
incredibly rare. Beacon Station has one synthetic.
Yeah.
A couple of working Joes, so that counts, but it only has one synthetic operating.
We were trying to figure out from Sam's question was basically like, how did they get if mother controls that?
Mother.
Then
Almost every single instance, a mother is taking care of that, or the Seekson equivalent is taking care of like travel in deep space.
They don't need to be a week on the whole trip. They don't need a synthetic to do this.
Villain arc started.
No, Isaac would know that. First of all, you were, if we're going to revisit this, you were originally sent with the Beacon staff on behalf of Varela. You were her eyes and ears to everything. So yeah, you needed to be there for everything, because the Ilios was rather inadvertently being used as her long arm to find what she was looking for and get involved with that, which was a bit of a reveal. Ever since then, you are part of the crew of the Ilios. You go where the Ilios goes, and nobody in Beacon has disputed that. Having you awake and moving about and maintaining the ship when it needs it is basically a doubled foolproof device to ensure that you guys are not going to be in trouble the way
nice
everyone
to have,
else
not
is.
a need to have.
Exactly. Mother can actually maintenance the ship herself, except when it comes to hardcore, like hardware repairs. Shit out of luck. Having an Isaac on your hand, you're set. So currently, it's kind of why the Ilios is the flagship of Beacon, because you guys are the most capable and you have the most advanced setup for your crew. So that, if that answers that question, because that's something Isaac would know, just to give Isaac some context.
Okay. So do we want to do this? I suppose I should set up the remote for Martha, whatever she needs, and then whatever kind of roles we need for repair. Repair should be first priority. Get her space worthy, and then optionally, whether that's on stunts or whether it's on another role, stuff. Cryopods, gunopods, all that good stuff. Anything else in the Corvus that look cute?
Just so I understand you, is the intention to remove cryopods and install them in the Ilios?
Um, I don't have to install them yet.
Hmm.
It could be that if they are like on an electrical engineering level compatible,
Mm-hmm.
yoink them and install at a later date. That
Okay.
doesn't have to be a right now thing.
Sure.
But if there's a good chance we're just kind of gonna toss this ship in the sun, if there's something I could eventually make use of on it, I'd rather have it on the Ilios than on the Corvus.
Okay.
So yeah, long term, I would love to expand our cryopods. But I think that would also require like a fair amount of rewiring and so on, so that it wouldn't strain the power systems and so on. So I don't assume that's gonna be a right now. I just want the stuff.
Right. Yes, there are specific. One of the things that we unfortunately we haven't gotten a chance to really get into this with Beacon, but for anybody who is curious about playing their own Alien campaign, there is a full system for both creating, building, and modifying your vessels and how long it takes and upgrades and stuff like that. There actually is information of how long it would take to uproot entire cryopods, detach them from it, deliver it down the ramp, put it onto your ship, and you're talking probably about maybe 2 days worth of work to remove cryopods and have them. If you had help, you could probably cut that down to a full day's work. But yeah,
Just
lots of
yep,
equipment moving.
can't. All right, well,
So
that can't happen. So, Captain, Dr. Captain, should I pull the cryopods and similar equipment? It's gonna take a day at best, a couple of days realistically. Or I can leave them for scrap. And we can rush. I know we're probably behind schedule already getting Dr. Brown back to the mother mission.
As much as I'd love the extra equipment, I think it might be for the best to forego. Besides, we don't know if everything that we might salvage is free of the pathogen. So,
Okay.
but if there's something in particular that you see that you deem useful, you could go through the trouble of attempting to sanitize it. But for the most part, I think making sure the ship is flight worthy is the priority, but I leave it to your best judgment.
Okay. I have at least my second best judgment activated right now.
Me too.
So Isaac, is anybody with you on the other ship? Is it just you?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
Okay.
Wait.
So
no.
what is Isaac's situation? Are you in a suit? Are you out of a suit? Describe to me Isaac as they step into the pad and up the cargo hold into the ship.
Let's see. Yeah, I'm just gonna have to run through a suit, and I think probably the best plan is to. I might even be able to borrow one of theirs in the airlock or something. Treat a suit as disposable, effectively, because we don't know what is capable of decontaminating this. We don't know what breaks it down, and we don't have the tools to safely study it because we can't take it out of its vial. So, you could look at the vial under a microscope, and that's about as much as we can safely do. We can't exactly dinkle it onto a mass spectrometer or something.
So for safety, you're going to put on a suit, but you're not necessarily bringing that suit back with you when you get back into the
point of the suit is so that it doesn't get on Isaac.
Right.
Not so that it doesn't interact with Isaac and then never see that suit again.
Okay. Isaac, you are in an EV suit then that is completely sealed. You step onto the vessel, and much as I described it the first time, it's a bit of a ghost town, except for as you're walking up the ramp, it is caked in the red dust that has been blowing through here from the storm. Also, you're getting a good snapshot, too, of the planetary cycles, of rotational cycles of this small planet, as it is still dark out, technically. It looks like the horizon, it's an interesting... judging from the shifting of the patches of night sky that you get to catch under on the other side of the clouds. Just looks like the night cycle here is probably a little bit longer than 24 hours. So it's quite long. This planet is unusual and beautiful, but haunting. You step inside the cargo bay, that red glow that's being cast in here, making your way through that first airlock and seeing some of the lockers are still open. As you step in, you see the scenes as I described before. There's no bodies or anything laying around here, but it does look like this place was not kept very well as you move through this area. You do see what looks like that at some point you do come across the interesting signs of what is undoubtedly a charging station, as well as what looks like a small area for biobags being stored. And Isaac, you identify them directly. Specifically, the biobags is what looks like a connection point for a catheter. And this is typically used next to these charging stations for synthetics. So it looks like this is a place where a synthetic could actually recharge after a 400-day cycle, and the catheter is to remove food and drink from their stomach after they synthesize, pretending to be humans to make the crew feel comfortable. Judging from the state of it, though, it does not look like it has been used in a very, very long time. So, but signs that the ship was at least constructed to accommodate a dedicated onboard synthetic. No sign of it, though. As you move deeper into the ship, you move up to the next deck and find yourself in that branching two-way left and right on A deck. There is a left section. One of these sections looks like it's got debris piled up. To the right, you see this scratched off, just like wear and tear, poorly maintained wall sign that's been painted up on the bulkhead that just says infirmary, and it's pointing in to the right. Up ahead, you see a corridor that ramps up that leads into the flight deck area. There's a couple to the left. What you see from the infirmary is a small sign. Everything again looks like it's been kind of crudely painted. I mean, it's all been like stenciled on and has long since worn off and scratched off. But you see arrows pointing to the direction of a couple of crew quarters, crew locker zones, and captain's quarters. And then there's the cargo. There's also the cargo hold, as well as the there's a small stencil that looks it's a little fresh, and the other one that has an arrow pointing that just says "boom boom" on it. And that's what you see in this corridor as you're standing here.
Well, Martha will be able to pull anything off Mother, but there's a chance that there might be records of messages or something from Nakamura in the captain's quarters, which I understand is almost definitely, based on what Seeks told us, at one point contaminated, given that there was murder death in there. But I'm wearing my little disposable EV suit, and it would be a good idea, since, again, this ship is probably going into the sun, to peel as much data, captain's log, etc., out of there as possible.
Okay.
And these people went on a lot of trips for Nakamura. They have to have really extensive, the flight records, of course, the stuff that we can get off Mother, but maybe some communications, maybe some more context that would be helpful to Martha or Doc or Tig. I don't know what would be helpful to Tig right now. She's glitching.
Okay. So you're headed to the captain's quarters then?
Yep.
All right. You take a left as opposed to the right that Doc took. And moving down the corridor, there's really only two doors here. One of them looks like it has been slightly set aside. It is kind of open. And then there is the larger door in front that is clearly marked captain's quarters. It's slightly ajar. It's easy enough without even having to make a roll for your synthetic power to just push this door aside with a bit of a screeching metal as that synthetic fibered muscle just pushes it with hydraulic strength and jams it back into the door. Lights kind of pathetically flicker on in here, and you see what looks like just a rest area. No place to sleep in here. Captain's quarters, obviously, is going to be sleeping in any hypersleep chamber. Instead, what you see is a desk area. You see what looks like a small bunk. There are wrappers everywhere, as well as like pieces of just detritus all over the place of somebody who was not really taking care of their quarters. You see like bags of like scrapped down food that didn't make it to the trash bin, that kind of thing. You do see at the other end of the room what looks like a stack of, just by first glance, looks like a stack of crates. Each crate roughly about 2.5, maybe 3 feet in height, a couple of feet wide. There's 3 stacks of them on top of each other, kind of crudely lashed together. It looks like they've been roped together and they're covered in a blanket. And it looks like one of those loading blankets, like one of those heavy, thick cargo blankets to protect the exterior. It is currently lashed up. There is a handgun that is laying out on the desk, a couple of empty bullet shells that have rolled away from it. The gun itself looks like it was probably in the process of being cleaned. You can see what seems to be a cloth laying to the side, and as well as some oil, some screws been left out. Probably somebody was taking it apart, modifying it or fixing it. There is also what looks like a small picture frame that has a flickering digital display that's not displaying anything recognizable. It looks like its power is perhaps dying. It looks like it's struggling to display whatever is there. And you see what looks like a slightly raised from the surface of this desk, an angular retro style heavy thick keyboard that is linked to a screen that is in standby mode.
All right. I guess I'll spam the key until it
immediately
stands up.
Blinks and pops up online asking for a password.
Martha?
Yep.
How do you make computers open?
Martha, you have all the passwords. You gained access to Mother. You hacked Mother. You've got full administrative access to the Mother mainframe on the ship.
I'm sending you the logins now, and I'll send them to. I imagine Isaac has some type of like data pad with them.
We can read them out.
Or that, yeah.
1, 2, 3 to
Yeah.
me over the air.
Easy
will
enough to just read it out.
Read them out to you. So, yep. Plug this into Mother, and then.
Why would someone have
J,
admin user
5.
and admin password? That seems silly.
You see the screen flicker and the line of data that pops up. The letters just splay across the screen. Mother saying, "Hello, Captain," and then immediately a menu pops up on screen. Indeed, it looks like message logs. It looks like a small navigational data set being fed from the bridge, which is a full map of where the ship has been. There's also what looks like a manifest. Looks like her personal manifest. Like she was keeping the books, probably to cross-reference with anybody else who was supposed to be keeping the books to make sure nobody was stealing bigger cuts than what were being given out. Basically, the gold mine of information of the ship is now available to you through the captain's quarters. Anything you want to look for, go ahead and let me know. But you have access to it.
Fantastic. All messages from Nakamura, I think.
There are 4. And they
Wow.
span the past 6 months. 4 messages dating back 6 months. One of them is the initial contact. It's just a meeting place, but it doesn't detail much more than that. But it is Nakamura's handle. You can see that much because it's referred to later as Nakamura in the emails. It's not clear in what you scan, Isaac, as you're reading, if Nakamura was working on behalf of Weyland-Yutani or not, because Nakamura is very clever in these messages not to implicate his employer if it is Weyland-Yutani. But Nakamura indeed starts the conversation with, "You come highly recommended. And the pay is good. There are a series of locations out here that need to be verified and that might have certain materials of great value to my employer. Your pay is negotiable. Do not feel shy about asking for a large number. If you are willing to retrieve these things, we will pay. You see a couple of more messages. Most of the places that she was sent to, this ship was sent to, looks like they were dead ends and nothing was there. They couldn't find anything. There are 2 places that checked out. One of them is a world that apparently, according to this, was believed to have been a hotspot of interest, but turned out to be an abandoned colony. And after rummaging through the entirety, as well as looting what was left over, nothing of significance was discovered. And she reports back that it would appear that the colonists were all murdered or taken hostage during the colony wars. That the original colony size was about 45 people, and they're all gone. So she reports that back. The last one, however,
Delphini 46-2D.
That's the one. And it's sure enough, that is correct. It stands out. She reports jackpot. She found a facility. She's brought back a couple of crates. She doesn't know if they're going to be exactly what he's looking for, but she did find one thing that she believes he is going to find particularly interesting. She does mention that the place is, they didn't linger too long. They raided what it looked like some kind of research facility. And a lot of it looked like it had been destroyed. Her guess was somebody tried to burn the place on their way out the door. However, she did find, according to her, that the power and the main reactor was still very much online, which she kind of teasingly jokes to Nakamura that whoever was here might be coming back for it. So once it's in your hands, you're not my problem anymore. Then there's a message a few weeks later. And the message is from her to Nakamura. What the fuck did we just pick up for you? Is this a trick? Is this a setup? Nakamura doesn't reply. She sends out her last message sent to this colony was, you've got 3 days to figure out what you're going to tell me when I get there, and then I'm killing everyone.
I assume that broadly is contemporaneous with the death of her first mate.
Judging from ship logs, which are easily to pull up, yes. You also see a few images from a shoddy security system that have been saved of a man convulsing violently and vomiting violently in the sick bay, and him being held down. You can't make out what's being said. The sound systems of the security systems, the feed in this ship, it's not very high quality, Isaac. And even with your ability to parse out various levels of auditory information that's coming in, you're not able to truly process what's being understood, but you're pretty sure you hear her screaming, "You can't leave me yet. We haven't made it. You can't leave me yet," as he's dying. And then there is a captain's log. And Isaac, if you were human, you might jump in your chair at the sight of the captain's log, because as it pops up, it's her staring straight into the camera. And she does not look human. The face that gazes directly at you from this screen is reminiscent of what you saw underneath the helmet. And with a shaking, long-fingered hand, she's touching the side of her face and pulling at her lip, revealing the bladed crystalline teeth that have started to grow out from her gums and overlap her human teeth. The black veins that are reaching through, and she's touching the side of her face. And she lets out a scream and makes a motion, and the log goes dark. And when you glance to your right, you see now on the side of the desk all of this detritus and stuff that you dismissed before as being garbage, not properly discarded. You see now in your mind's eye her throwing violently everything off of her desk, undoubtedly realizing what her fate is going to be. And that's when your eyes continue to land on that stack of crates, which is clearly an indication of what she was referring to. And then you see the flight recorder logs, the destination. There's a full plot, course heading and everything.
So we have all the course information we would need for Delphini 46-2D. My understanding is that all of the locations Nakamura gave have been cleared. There aren't any other mystery spots on the board. Is that correct?
Make me a wits comtech check.
Well, heck. Do I get an assist from Martha for being in my ear?
Mm-mm.
Okay, that's bad then. Hey,
You
chat.
You can.
I don't know why I called y'all chat.
Oh, I thought you were spitting a story point.
Yeah, I was. I didn't
aux
need to
point?
ask chat for that. I need to
Okay.
ask Eric / the crew.
Yes,
But, yes.
Leo Ambermain will give you
Yes.
this aux point.
Yes.
Okay, so go ahead and make your roll.
Okay. All right, I have a Comtech of so.
Okay.
It's a good thing that I spent a story point. 1. That is the number. The number is 1.
Perhaps because she began to realize that Nakamura was doubling back on her. But as you're about to move away from the desk to go check the crates, you pause because something catches your periphery. The very bottom of the screen, little green caps of font that are different than the language written on the rest of the database that you're looking at. You swivel back in the chair and tap down, and bam, Russian. All the way across with Chinese numerics at the very end. Tapping it to open it up, she saved data that you do not have. Perhaps she didn't trust Nakamura and wanted something in her back pocket. Maybe she was planning on betraying him. Once a pirate, always a pirate. Data begins to fill the screen in front of you. The data seems to give what would apparently be, judging from the translations that you're reading popping up on the screen, the exact medical genetic build of the liquid in the vial that you all have. You start seeing everything start displaying on your screen. It is got a listing of possible findings of the genetic manipulation in play. And what you read here, as you see, is this vial has been classified as a strain, a variant strain of the original pathogen virus that has been heavily modified. And you see scientist notes going down using modification. The things that jump out at you immediately, Isaac, as you're reading this, your eyes just devouring every line of information as you learn more and more. It is called, the official name of the strain has been labeled 26 Draconis strain. And it has been manufactured using genetic variants provided by you lean in close, the data is corrupted. It doesn't actually give who provided the information, but it does give notes on what the Draconis strain is. It is a modified version of the original pathogen and has the ability to arrest the effects of the pathogen. However, the pathogen effects are still known to be dangerous. It starts to link at that particular moment, this modified version, how it was. If everything you've come to understand about this thing would cause the pathogen to force somebody to genetically advance and continue to advance. This one seems to suggest that it stops at a certain stage. That it is so aggressive that it is able to arrest the mutations at a certain level. Coinciding with what you have learned about Project Darkstar trying to create mutated soldiers with the abilities that you saw that she was capable of having using this genetic mutation. But the last line stands out. confirmed 26 Draconis strain capable of infecting and mutating synthetic life. Underneath, it says confirmation received. Maitland Synthetic submitted information. And then it has information submitted. You see Maitland's face in a small picture underneath. And it references another synthetic. And for the first time ever, you see popping up on screen a synthetic you've never seen before, a woman. It says Mother Mishka underneath it. You've never seen this model before. And you're not entirely sure what her manufacturer is. However, you do recognize the name Children of the Two Divines. And underneath it, she is labeled as the bioterrorist leader of the entire organization.
So that's fun. Okay. That's very, very useful. I'd like to preserve that information if I can.
You can
send
simply,
it on, all that.
you just simply tap a couple of buttons. Meanwhile, back on the Ilios, Connor watches as Mother starts to receive data. And he just goes, "What's this?" His coffee mug goes a little slack in his hand, and he goes, Martha?
Yeah.
Doc? He gets on the comm and says, everyone, you might want to see what Isaac is sending me right now on the flight deck. You are not going to fucking believe this. And that is, we're going to pause for the break.
Ah!
We'll be back in 10 minutes. See you then.
This is going well.
Welcome back, everybody, to Beacon. We are picking up where we left off, this data being transmitted to the flight deck. I'm going to say that those who are interested have already reported to the flight deck and are seeing the data start feeding through. At this point, the extra data that's coming in is being read in real time by Isaac over on the other ship. So anything that is new, you were all reading together as this is being fed into the mother system, but you are seeing all of this information popping up. Doc, you're able to suss out a little bit of some of this information, being a medical man, as well as you, Tig. You can kind of see some of the data popping up about the item that you all have. It is a sample of a strain that has been, it looks like it's been bioengineered. It is called 26 Draconis strain. It does seem to suggest that it had a point of origin in the Draconis system, but there's not much more about that. It does, however, reference the research facility from where this originated from is indeed the previously mentioned Delphini 46-2. So as this information is being fed through, some of the things that stand out to you both is the implications that a biological substance like this has the ability to mutate and fundamentally change a synthetic. Is the implications of that are finally opening the door to realizing how absolutely beyond the understanding this thing is from common humans, and where you all are in scope of technology and medical understanding. If this is indeed a biologically engineered pathogen, which it seems to be, no human could have made this. This is beyond the engineering it would take to manufacture something like this. You've never seen it before. And as the data continues to come in, you are seeing too that crates were taken in, as well as information. Of course, you do get some of the captain logs too, as well as some of the messages that were sent as it was all transmitted over. So you basically learn what Isaac has learned as it starts to be fed through into the flight deck. Silence settles onto the bridge. Yeah.
Well, we have I guess, a rundown of it Now we don't have to open the thing. There's something.
Yeah, this is amazing.
Not the word I would have picked, but I'll say I get the sentiment. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, like from scientific viewpoint.
What what is the status of the other ship's ability to take flight? I would like to have Isaac out of there sooner rather than later.
Yeah. Isaac?
Yes.
How's the thank you for sending us back this data. We're looking through it and it's blowing our minds. How's the ship looking for flight status?
Have not evaluated that at all. This felt important, so I did it first.
Oh, sure. Okay.
And I'm gonna open the crates and see what's in those.
Crates?
Then maybe some of the other flight ship stuff.
Crates? What kind of crates are we talking?
Look about 2.5 feet, covered in straps and blankets. Like, you know those moving blankets?
Mm-hmm.
Like those. I was gonna open them.
Isaac, to your best assessment, can you infer what you might believe to be in those crates?
Stuff.
Well, I can't disagree with you there.
Yeah. No way to really know. I'm gonna open them though.
Keep us posted.
Okay. Will do. Okay.
I don't like.
Let Isaac do stuff.
I
Imagine
mean,
stopping them.
right now Isaac is a
Yeah.
crew of one, so
Yeah.
I'm worried about them.
well, I mean, now that we know this goo can infect synthetics, I'm sure Isaac will be very careful.
Well, if trust were easy, everybody'd be doing it, right?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. I still got more material to go through. I should inform you on what I've discovered so far. And Tig, you so your friend had a genetic anomaly that was particularly noted in documents pertaining to this experimentation.
What, like a superpowers or just a? what
No,
do they-
I believe the anomaly made it so that they received their body had a reaction to it that was favorable for whatever the purposes of the development of this substance. I've called in a favor from a very competent individual to pull the records of Buffy to see if she might share that same genetic anomaly, as it is my best guess that the only interest that these individuals might have is in those that share this genetic anomaly, and it would be more than likely that Buffy might share it, and if their attention is on her, I would much prefer for us to know so that we could respond accordingly. Now, I must also confess I'm not skilled in the practice of spycraft and skullduggery, but even Even I know that this might draw some unwanted attention on us, and I've taken the liberty as captain to take that risk. You are concerned about Buffy, and so we are concerned about her.
They have all the money and resources in the world. If they don't know she exists yet, then I would be shocked.
I don't have all the money in the world, but what I do have, I came out here to do some good. I'm not sure that I'm at a net positive just yet, but this seems simple. Sure, shit ain't easy, so that must mean that it's worth it.
I came out here to keep her safe, so fingers fucking crossed.
Indeed. So I'm gonna go back to reading, make sure that I don't miss anything, because while they might be more powerful and more resourceful, that don't necessarily mean they smarter. So let's go do our homework, eh? All right. I'm just gonna pat Connor all the way out. Welcome to the crew.
Connor, who has no context for who Buffy is, has
I
no
know.
idea what else is going on. Actually, I don't even know if Isaac and Martha have full context.
Yeah. Connor looks completely lost.
Yeah.
I think so. Martha knew that Gemma was someone you knew,
Yes.
but that's it. I don't think I know about Elizabeth.
You would have heard her ask for the favor from Levine for a 5-year-old.
Yeah.
Well, that's probably the most you would have heard about her, and then now you are a very smart individual. You are probably making the connection, if we're talking about genetic markers, that the particular 5-year-old that Tig has a fondness and or responsibility towards is maybe perhaps related to Gemma. I would say that would probably be. She can also exposit, but
Yeah, either way.
but
Yeah.
she'll fill the two of you in on who Elizabeth is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay. Meanwhile, Isaac, what are you doing back on the other ship?
What's in the crates?
All right, you move over to the crates. As I said, they are covered in this thick blanket. Reaching over, taking a fistful of the blanket, you pull it away from the straps in order to see what's underneath. And you do see that what appeared to be a stack of large crates is actually about 4 instead of many. 4 crates that are roughly, I'd say, about 3.5 feet in height and roughly same width. The noticeable, not so subtle thing about them is the small, scraped off dark star that has been painted on the side of them. Also, it looks like they are encoded. It looks like they are sealed crates. It looks like they have entry pads as well, where some kind of code is input in order to open them up. They're metal and solid all the way around. The blinking lights would indicate they have their own power source.
All right.
And also, just so you know, there was no information in anything sent back and forth or acquired in the day that you saw that indicates what's inside. And judging from what you're seeing here, it's very likely she doesn't even know what was inside. I get the impression that the pirates probably grabbed what they could when they left.
Okay.
It looks
a
like
couple
loot.
different questions.
Yeah.
My gas chromatography sensors, am I picking up anything consistent with explosives or anything near the crate, to the effect of, if you get the passcode wrong, does it explode? Do I have any detection of potentially volatile compounds?
You don't smell any particularly volatile compounds. Instead, what you register is the smell of rot, which has begun to fill the deck of the ship.
Oh, that sounds unpleasant.
Yeah, you're certain that should you have the same senses and reactions to such sense as a human, allowing that sense into your helmet, it would probably cause you to vomit. In this case, though, the pungent air indicates that something has died somewhere on this deck, and the smell of it has been filling up the deck.
Oh, it has. A couple weeks ago, as I recall. If I put my ear near the crate, can I hear a hum?
Yes.
Or anything? There's clearly power.
There's some kind of, it's very low, but
Okay.
steady. This hum.
All right. I wouldn't put it past it to be some kind of a cooling thing then. Don't know whether it is. Don't know whether it isn't. Martha, how do you do keypads? When it's really, really important, you don't get them wrong.
Well, generally there are programs you can use to hack into and figure out a code to basically just try lots and lots of different combinations that doing it manually would take forever.
Yeah, I am
Before
mildly
you
concerned
enter.
about using brute force in the literal sense, but the algorithmic sense, maybe.
Yeah. You need to do that.
Yeah, there are some entry pads, and I don't want to get it wrong.
Is
Because
this
this
the
is Dark Star stuff, and that sounds like a bad idea.
Oh, this is the crates.
Uh-huh.
Are the crates, can you see into them? Or are they completely...
No, they're solid.
Oh, I didn't tell you about my synthetic X-ray vision? Yes, I can see everything.
Isaac. I can't tell if you're being serious.
I'd hardly need to open them in that case.
Okay, good point. Okay. Yeah, I could talk you through. You could easily download one of these programs, and I can talk you through how to do that.
Okay. All right. Very quick to reduce the total number of possibilities I'd have to try. Do I see what is the material the buttons are made of?
It looks like a flat glass, like dark glass pad that has an image projected underneath it, much like a cell phone. So as soon as you wave your hand over it, you see the display pop up and digits appear.
Okay. Glass retains oils. Like fingerprint oils. So I could you can't determine order, obviously, but maybe could I get a stab at which positions on the pad, like where did someone's grubby gamer Cheeto hands touch on this pad?
Isaac can attempt to perceive any potential fingerprints or smudges on the glass, but that's going to require an observation check.
Fair enough. I
think observation check is going to be the way to do this. Yeah, it's an observation check.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh, one
success. What you see is a bunch of smudges all over this. Like somebody handled the crate recently, or maybe they picked it up and rubbed their thumbs all over the sides of it. You basically see what looks like one has a smudge across it. essentially with one success, what you glean from every single data pad is that these have been handled rather poorly from the looks of it. And you don't see any markings that indicate one way or the other where things were pressed.
Well, then, since we don't, and when the pad comes up, is it like, you know how sometimes you'll have like 4 underscores when you need to put in 4 numbers?
That's actually what you see is 4 underscores
Okay.
in a,
Four.
in a numerical pad.
Gosh. I know Isaac would probably be able to determine very quickly at hand the various permutations there. It's a large number, y'all. That's an extremely large number. We don't get there by guessing. And brute force takes of 4 digits with 10 keys and possible repetitions. It's a big number. So I can make an attempt. It sounds like it would be effectively brute force, according to Martha.
With some help.
Yep. Huh?
Well, I'm going to... So I understand you. Does this mean you are attempting to get Martha to assist you via comms on what you're doing?
Wait.
Yeah.
Am I hearing this on comms?
That's up.
They're open comms.
So, yeah.
We have the encrypted, but we don't have one-ways on ours.
Doc will go, oh, one sec, y'all. Hey, Seek, son, my friend Isaac has found some crates in your ship. Would you happen to have remembered the passwords to them?
Are you addressing your unconscious patient right now?
Oh, is he unconscious?
Yeah, he's out.
Okay. Is there any way that
wake him up?
Yeah, I'm trying to give him a little bit.
Yes, you can wake him up.
Yeah, like, hey, I know you need.
He starts a little bit as you wake him up in mid conversation, and he starts. What?
Sorry, I know you need your rest. My friend found some crates on the old ship over there. Would you happen to know the passwords? Crates, yeah. Dock stock crates on the ship.
Oh, in the captain's quarters.
I think those are the ones.
No. She had us grab them. We loaded them into her quarters. That's all I know.
All right, I'm sorry about that. I'm gonna give you something to put you back under.
No more drugs, please.
Can I be there? Can I be there for this?
Yeah, if you want to be.
I have a question.
Okay.
Grab them from where?
What do you mean?
The crates? Where did they come from?
The place, Delphini. We seized them when we were leaving. She didn't want to leave without taking some equipment or anything that could be of value. She had us grab whatever looked like it could be important. So we took what wasn't nailed down. Food, stuffs, couple of crates, empty ammo clips that we could use for later, some security weaponry that was left behind. Most of it standard issue UPP kind of thing. Assault rifle or two.
What were they heavy? Did they?
The crates, of course, yes. We loaded them into the ship one at a time using. At first, we tried to load them ourselves, but we used loading equipment to finally get it into the cargo bay. What, you wish to claim it for yourself? Now you can. It's technically salvage at this point since we stole it, although I have a feeling that whoever used to own it will want it back.
All right, well, no drugs to you, so I'm just gonna. I tried. Guess gonna leave it back.
Try 4437.
Isaac, you catch that?
4337, right?
No.
4437.
4437.
There's two of them. Oh, were you making a joke at me? Is that what that was?
To my captain? Isn't that
Are
against
you
regulations?
speaking to me?
Oh no, I'm sorry. I got the thing in my ear. I'm one of those guys. I didn't mean to be.
You don't.
me, I'm
You
your
know how comms work. You don't need to shout.
Oh, were you making a joke at me?
What? The thing in your ear? They would never.
Go ahead and try for. Go ahead and try 4, 4, 3. I can't see. I can't judge it.
Okay.
Caitlin's like, I'm out.
I
Screw this group.
didn't sign up for this. This
Yeah.
isn't supposed to be a comedy. No.
Caitlin's like, Intig walks away for real this time.
Noir, the strong black dad vibes of having the Bluetooth in your ear and shouting.
I had 3 real memories played just now.
It's such a strong, strong image, strong vibe.
All right. Isaac, we got the numbers. Let me know if it works out for you, and if you start to feel a little, I don't know, nervous, just get out of there. But yeah, just let me know what's going on.
You know that synthetics don't. I'll let you know if I feel nervous.
Thank you, Isaac.
Bing, 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 bing.
Resets to empty. The code doesn't work. You try it on the different pads. None of the code doesn't work on any of them.
Well, it's a good guess. Thank you, but it doesn't appear to work. What of those digits coincide to? Would it happen to be a birthday?
No, it's something I heard, something I overheard between first mate and captain a long time ago. I made it a point to remember in case I ever needed to know something I shouldn't know. Maybe I thought that could be it, but
Well, it's a good number to know. All right. Well, I'm going to go back to reading here. If you need anything, if you start to feel achy and you change your mind about treatment or medicine, I'm here. But I'm going to go back to reading these papers.
yeah, do that. By the way, Doctor,
Yes.
we can drop my nickname. My name is Ukov. Just call me by my real name from now on.
Ukov? I want to make
Yes.
sure I'm saying that right. All right. Well,
Ukov is my real name. I'm getting tired of the Sikhs joke.
all right.
Oh,
Well, it is,
Nickname amongst my squad was Sikhs, but if you're going to butcher it, then just call me my real name.
well, I'm going to try not to butcher that too.
You've earned the right. You saved my life. I'm just
well, I
giving you
mean-
options.
Between you and me, I think I've done enough butchering for the both of us.
Let's hope that's true. I like the other leg. It's my favorite leg.
Oh, now no wonder you sold out the other one. I'm gonna go. I feel like I'm one joke ahead of myself.
He smirks and just lays his head back. There's no way he's getting any sleep at this point, but you just see him relax. Okay.
No way it's 3959, is it?
You tap 3995 on it, nothing happens. Blink, it just registers blank.
Because back on Paxton's Reach, we got the full name of the chemical. Chemical A03959X91.
Oh, that is referenced in the data you saw for sure. That's how you knew it was a variant.
Did
Yeah,
you say 3959, Sam?
Yeah. Chemical
And that didn't
underscore
work.
A0
That was the one that didn't work. No,
X.91
That is very password 123.
15 underscore. Yeah.
Password birthday.
I have a question. What was the I forget her name. The one that was infected. Tig's friend.
Z.
Gemma?
Oh, Gemma.
Gemma,
Are you talking about Gemma?
Gemma.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
Gemma had a patient number. I don't remember how many digits it was.
Yeah, it's because it's actually about 12 digits long.
Okay.
It's got
Then never
A's and
mind.
B's and such in it.
Okay, I just want to, because I was like,
Yeah,
well,
it looks like
that's-
it's a file number of some kind.
Gotcha. All right, no, don't worry about me then. I'm back to the papers.
Oh, this is our door, y'all.
Yep, appears to be.
This is just the door to a box.
Y'all are totally pulling the Ace Ventura like fisheye into the camera, just looking at this thing, trying to figure out.
How big are the crates?
They're about 3 feet tall, and roughly the same size wide.
So Isaac could theoretically take one outside.
Yes, Isaac could. They're quite
could,
heavy, but Isaac could lift one.
Yeah,
Yes.
Isaac. Yeah. Maybe Martha can take a look at it if it's not on that ship.
Martha is our door opener.
Yeah.
Sure, as long as we're following good safe protocols for contact with pathogens with a manner of transmission we currently don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll grab a suit and
I mean, it doesn't have to be now, but like that could be a.
I know. I can do it now.
Meet you outside, Isaac.
Yes, let's take this outside.
All right.
So
I will grab my pad, which has a really good encryption program on it.
okay. With
And head
the
on.
extraordinary strength of a synthetic, you lift that crate right up off the ground and begin to move it down the corridor towards the cargo bay. Martha, you step out of the Iliosis cargo ramp and into the red dust as it gently blows by. And you clearly see again the beautiful night sky of that bloody red glow being cast across the horizon. Morning slowly approaching here. As you see Isaac emerging from the cargo bay of this Corvus class vessel, you see they are carrying this 3x3 crate. The thing looks like it is sealed quite well. Just judging from where you're standing as you're approaching it, it kind of just looks like a solid block of metal. It only takes a few moments for you to get a little bit closer where you can see the seamed and the indentations that indicated some kind of carrying device of some kind. But you definitely see against its chrome exterior the scraped image of a black star that has been painted onto one of the sides near the what would appear to be a data pad of some kind. And Isaac sets it down in front of you, heavily into the dust.
I've got one more. Two more?
All right,
got more.
let me see what I can do with this one first.
Okay. Go ahead and make a comtech check.
First, I would like to analog check this. I'm gonna knock on it, listen.
Boom, boom, boom. You hear a humming sound.
Humming sound.
the-
Okay.
Like the crate itself. Through your helmet, you can hear what comes through to be some kind of like a power source.
Okay. So
Is
this
powering
is
this thing?
tech. Well, there is tech involved here. I'm just Martha might even say this out loud on comm so you'll hear, but I'm just trying to figure out like is something going to jump out at me from this thing? But I don't know. I'm hearing
I
tech.
was kind of hoping so, honestly. I
Really?
remember that there are synthetic dogs and they can get shipped from place to place in a box that looks kind of like that.
Really?
But I don't think it's going to be a synthetic dog.
Well, that would be delightful.
I'll be back with the box in a couple more minutes.
Okay. I will be here. Okay. I don't hear anything moving or shifting around, just this hum. Okay, I'm gonna try to crack into this. Okay.
Make me a comtech check.
I will, yeah, I'm plugging in my SSID, booting the system with Comtech, yeah?
Mhm.
Come on, little dice. There you are. Wits Comtech, here we go. Should I do story point? I'd like to do a story point.
Go for it.
Okay. I will take a story point then.
Mhm.
And I'm rolling. Okay, good thing. No success here. So just the one from the story point. And I also rolled a face hugger.
For stress.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so roll a d6.
Okay.
As the anxiety sets in, tell me what you get.
It says 0, which I guess means 2
0?
minus my 2, maybe.
Yeah, because you have the nerves of
Oh,
steel.
did you roll a 2?
Okay.
Yeah, then yeah, you are.
It just says 0. I think it auto,
But you got a success?
Well,
You succeeded, but you got a face hugger. Yes? That's what you told me? You got one success and a face hugger?
no. Well, yeah, sorry. I got 1 success for the story point.
Right. Okay. So you succeed.
Yeah.
So you plug your Seeks and device into this thing and start hacking it. And it is quite simple. Takes a few moments for your Seeks and device. This thing is, of course, designed to function as a tool for counterintelligence. This crate doesn't offer up a lot of resistance to the text that you're using or the programming. A few moments later, and you see the digits appear and beep, indicates that it's opened, and you hear a hissing sound as air just escapes from this thing. And looks like the lid goes pops.
Okay. Lid, like it's on top. It opens up.
Yeah, like it like the door kind of cracked open basically, but it just kind of indicates that it's easy to pull up.
All right. I'm going to very gently and slowly lift it and try to peer in.
You pull the top open and you just see this mist just start flowing out of the top. You can't see what's inside of it. Just kind of starts to flow. Roll me a d6.
Okay. 2.
2. It's on your helmet before you have much of a chance to react.
Mm-hmm.
But you can hear the screeching noise it makes as the crab-like legs splay out and latch onto the helmet. It leaps straight at your face, and immediately this tail, like a whip, wraps around the upper part of your body and starts to clench.
Oh my God.
Anybody on the flight deck suddenly sees Martha throw their head back as this crab-like thing that you've seen once before launches itself straight out of the box and slams into your helmet with such a force, Martha, that you see this crack go spread throughout the glass. You start realizing that the intense force of the tail that is just readjusted and starts wrapping around your neck is squeezing at such strength that you're starting to lose. The air in your suit is starting to collect at the top, pressing force against the top of the glass. Everyone is able to hear Martha's sounds as this happens. Isaac, you're about halfway up the ladder into the ship when you hear everybody over the comms as Martha just tries to make a shouting sound, and it's cut off suddenly. Anybody who takes a moment to look outside the cockpit window of the Ilios sees Martha grabbing at her face and struggling at something. Something is wrapped around her head.
Quick as I can.
Charging back down the ramp, you see one of those things that came chasing after you. You remember it specifically, Isaac, because you risked your existence to save the military unit that was in that station from being attacked by these things. It has Martha. And Martha, with all of her might, is pulling at this thing. And you can hear Martha's panicked breathing. Gain a point of stress, Martha. You were, if you would like...
Just 1?
Yep. Isaac is charging over to you. But at this point, if you would like, you can try to make a strength roll to get it off of you.
I think technically 2 because you rolled a 1 on a panic die. I think you automatically get a
Oh,
point of
yeah,
stress.
I didn't-
Sorry,
Oh, yeah,
sorry,
you-
Martha.
you-
Yeah, yeah.
sorry,
No, no,
sorry, I'm just
that's-
assuming every time you guys ever
Yeah.
roll a face hugger, you automatically gain a point of stress.
Mhm.
So
Okay.
In this case, this is just a strength check. So you're going to essentially double your strength roll here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and I think her instinct would
Strength,
just be like-
stamina would also work, or actually strength close combat is totally feasible for this as well.
I'll take it. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Make your
Plus
roll.
3 stress. And none. But I
You want to take that? You want to take Ox point?
yeah, I was gonna push, but if we have
An
more
Ox
Ox
point?
points, then yes, I will
Yes.
take one.
You guys
Okay,
have only
yes.
spent 2.
Okay.
All right,
Oh,
so
yeah, I'll take one.
Rogan 27 gives you this Ox point.
Thank you.
Rogan
I'm
really
gonna-
do become a clutch.
My shoulders are like up to my ears right now. Okay.
don't like it.
It's just a story. It's fiction. There's
on
not
you.
actually a face hugger on my head right now.
If you die in the game, you die for real.
Martha, what you are
Oh,
seeing
snap.
is your entire field of vision is completely occupied by the under part of this thing. You see what looks like an appendage that is poking out from the underbelly of this thing that is trying to smash its way through the
Ew.
glass of the helmet to get to you. It's just going boom, 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 boom.
Ew.
Also
Also rude.
Go ahead and what did you roll? You've got one success from the story point.
No, yeah, I didn't. I just got the one from
The one success? Okay,
Yeah.
roll for it.
Oh crap! It's a contested roll. I didn't think of that. Well, is it too late to push? If I
No,
also
you
get
can
story-
push.
Okay, I'll push.
Yeah.
I'll push.
Okay, you go ahead and take that and then
Come on, come on, come on, come on. Oh,
That adds a
come
point of-
on.
It adds a point of stress too,
It
so your
adds a-
pool gets bigger.
correct.
Yeah, but I still got no successes on that.
No
Dang
successes,
it.
So
okay.
fun.
Ugh. So just one.
Oh, that's too many dice Eric's holding. I can hear that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Isaac, you're gonna get
Really
to
like
Martha charging down the ramp. Martha is pulling at this thing with all of her might, and it's not working. And as you reach Martha, you can see the structural integrity of her face mask is starting to collapse. The next round, right now, it's gonna go first. I'm gonna roll a d6 here.
Don't like that.
Okay, Isaac, you can act. What would you like to do?
So the most difficult thing here is not to break Martha.
Yeah.
That's actually for
Mhm.
Isaac the hard part.
Mhm.
So I think the thing to do is probably like brace the side of my arm against your chest, grab onto the thing, push you away, and pull thing is probably the best shot I have to not break any of your bones.
Maybe
'Cause
maybe
On a pure matter of strength, if I want something detached from you, it will be. It's just
Mhm.
After
Okay.
I'd
last
like you to
Saturday, I've
be-
never been more terrified.
Go ahead and make that roll. This is a contested strength roll. What is your dice roll?
oh yeah, this was strength. You said a bunch of different things could count.
Yeah, and mobility can even count here. Like if you're trying
How
to
do
do
we
something.
like stamina?
Stamina.
You mentioned stamina, close combat, and now you just mentioned mobility. Those are the three I've heard so far. Close combat and stamina are the difference of one die, so it's not a big deal.
I think in this case it's actually going to be more of a close combat check.
Okay.
Than it would
Cool.
be stamina.
For sure.
Although again, I am willing to allow a mobility check on this.
Oh, that would be much, much worse than Isaac's strength score.
Okay, cool.
Much.
All right. So go ahead. I'm just curious, what is your dice pull on this, Isaac?
Oh, it's only 11.
Okay.
Yeah.
You beat it by 3. And only 3.
Do you want to take a?
Sorry,
Do you want to take a? Do you want to take an ox?
Oh,
point?
yes, very much so.
Okay, good.
I want to keep Martha in at least one piece.
Okay.
In the same number of pieces she started in. I don't. Maybe you have little pieces in you. I don't know. I'm not your dad.
All right. This one is from Shock 22. This ox point
Thank
to
you,
save
Shock.
Martha's life.
Wow. Oh, if fives were worth something,
Yeah.
would be
How many did you get?
swimming in them. So it's a total of 3 then.
You
But
beat it by
if
1.
fives were a thing, I have 6 of those.
Okay.
Oh, well.
You start pulling this thing, and Isaac, what starts to occur to you as you're pulling against it is, first of all, this creature, the strength of this creature is exceptional. Not only is it powerful, its tail, its whole existence, its evolutionary design was to do what it's doing right now, and you were fighting against it. As you're pulling it away, you're beginning to see that there is not going to be any way to get this off of her without either destroying or damaging the helmet or Martha removing the helmet.
Okay.
It's not
that's what
the
I was thinking.
legs around the back of her head, it's the tail
Yeah,
that is
okay.
becoming incredibly difficult to remove. You manage to pull it far enough away where it's no longer putting pressure against the glass. And Martha is spared, despite the fact that this thing is trying to break through again and again, as this worm-like thing with an opening just continues to bump against the glass, seeking whatever it can find to bury itself into, Martha. Isaac is buying you time here. It's your action at this point. So Isaac has basically awarded you time to figure out a solution to this very dangerous problem. The creature's got its tail wrapped around the under part of your helmet. So you could unclasp and remove your helmet.
Yeah, honestly, that was my instinct too.
I want to make you aware, as soon as you do that,
you're
going to be exposed to the planet. So you're going to be making endurance checks as you try to get back to the ship. Yes.
Yeah. I think, after... So with some distance from Isaac pulling this thing away from my face, the next thing I would do is grasp at my neck to try to loosen it. Feeling how tight it is, that helmet's just going to come off.
Okay.
So yeah.
On board the Ilios, everyone sees on the computer a breach in Martha's suit as she overrides the safety and starts unclasping all of the locks on her neck plate. It occurs to you what she's about to do before anybody can shout at her, "What are you doing?" The helmet comes right off. And Martha, your field of vision is blurred suddenly as gases just fly into your face and kind of cause your eyes to start water. The temperature as well begins to immediately pummel your body as you find yourself exposed to temperatures relative to the temperatures on Mars.
Whew.
As that severe drop... Immediately taking in a breath, I need you to make an endurance check here. So you are freed. You can hear the creature screeching in protest as the helmet pops off and into Isaac's hands. Isaac has firm control of the thing. But you are going to need to make a stamina check. This is going to be a strength plus stamina check.
Really, really quickly, before Martha takes off the helmet, is there any chance that Doc, through the comms, could remind Martha that Isaac has a plasma torch on their person from the combat with the thing inside, and this thing is afraid of fire and heat? That way,
I'll let you shout that as this is happening.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, and I was going to try and use that as my command, which would then assist Martha in an action.
Okay, gotcha.
So it's just, don't take off the damn helmet. Isaac's got plasma torch. The thing ain't fire.
The helmet comes popping off.
Damn.
So you will need to make that stamina check.
Okay.
Tig is running down towards the cargo bay, by the way.
Ox, please. Ox,
Yes,
please.
take that.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Would
Okay.
Martha still get the command?
Oh. 2 on my roll plus Ox.
On your roll, the ox point. This ox point comes from Duran 452.
Thank you, Dorian.
So you're going to gain. Okay, so how many successes was that?
3 total.
Okay, 1 sec.
You are now in combat with hypoxia.
Yes,
Mhm.
you're in combat with hypoxia, with freezing, and with radiation right now.
Fun.
You are rolling against all
That's
3 of
fun.
those. So
I think you're out of 3.
Damn.
and you got how many successes?
3.
You are okay this round.
Yes, let's
Um,
go.
God.
You
Oh my
even
God.
manage. Let's see. You are, however, you are going to gain 1 rad, however, of
I
radiation immediately.
figured, yeah.
However,
Twinsies.
Nice.
no, there's no staminaing away of radiation. But you were when you took the helmet off, you took a deep breath, and despite the urge to panic, Martha, your combat training, especially when it comes to situations like this, Colonial Marines, you are prepared for breaches during combat actions in space. You are prepared for instances of being trapped underwater. You take that quick, deep breath, exhale quickly, pop the helmet off, and you've got a few moments here and start stumbling back towards the ship. Your vision is quite blurry. And your eyes are starting to water and burn as you are staggering through the atmosphere towards the ship. You've
I think
probably
in your
got...
comms, you Your chick go, I'm coming. Like I will get the door open for you, basically.
You've got one more roll to make as you charge up the ramp and reach the doorway to get back into the Ilios. You can feel bad things happening to your skin. You'll deal with that later as you're charging into the cargo bay. The alarm, you can hear it in a muted tone in this thin atmosphere, blaring, indicating your suit has been ruptured. Meanwhile, Isaac, this thing lets go of the helmet and its tail goes and lashes out at you. And let's see. Okay, I have to roll dice here.
Isaac, reminder that that crate is still open and it can be closed again.
Sure.
Okay.
And you have
I don't
fire.
suspect this little bugger like a volleyball.
And
if
you
I get
have fire.
chance.
Oh, Isaac, you're going to take 4 points of damage as the tail whips you. Literally just swipes around and slashes across you. You immediately see that liquid latex burst out of the side as it crushes to the side of your suit. I'm going to roll real quick to see if your suit is ruptured.
Yeah, I should roll armor on that first.
Yeah, that's
Yes?
right. Yeah, roll armor because
So
you
it's
get a
what,
soak
2
die.
on the EV, 1 on the EV suit?
Actually, I think you get 3. Let me double check because this is not piercing damage. You're not being shot. This is like slash. So let me see how this is
yeah,
going
so
to...
I'll get my EV suit and I'll get my roughneck as well.
I have EVA hard suit armor 4.
Okay,
Is that
4.
correct?
That's
Oh, wow.
that sounds about right
Oh,
because
great.
these things are bulky and durable as fuck.
All right.
So go ahead and roll the
So-
4
Oh
dice.
my dog. 6664 on the suit. So I just need to roll 1 on my roughneck and then I think I soak all of it.
Okay. It means your EV suit is going to be breached, but it will be repairable.
Yes, but
Because
this whole thing was this
Yeah.
suit is
This
meant
suit
to be
is-
disposable.
Yeah, exactly.
We're never gonna.
Mhm.
It's gonna take,
Come
it's
on, I
amazing
need
you
just
got 3.
1 on 8.
Sign of the beast while you're fighting the beast.
All right, we got another 3. We soak her.
Yes!
We soak her fine.
Yes!
Holy butts.
Now, give you an idea, that tail lash would have killed Doc instantly. It would
Like twice over?
That was enough. That was enough power behind that. By the way, the tail is about 4 feet long, and as it lashes out and tries to coil around you, it splits your suit. You see oxygen immediately escaping out through your suit. It's your action now. What would you like to do? You have it on the helmet.
So if its tail's whipping around, that seems like a good place whence to get a grip on the dang thing.
A 4-foot tail that's completely prehensile. It does not have hold of you right now. It's
Yeah.
only
So
holding
I'd like
onto
to
the
get
helmet.
a hold of it with one hand, Plas Torch with other, and brulee a little sucker.
Okay.
Because I remember asking when we arrived here about the oxygen content in the atmosphere.
Well, it's not
And
gonna,
it's supposed to be adequate to allow for fire.
a cutting torch is going to be doing just fine.
Hmm.
So cutting torch does 3 damage.
We
it
spent
is
1 story
great
point for
against
that
you.
plasma thing.
And beautifully, it is armor piercing. However, this thing also has a 0 armor rating versus fire. So go ahead and make your roll.
All right.
This is
what
a.
Is this close combat because I have a hand on it?
No, this is heavy machinery +2.
Imagine being a face hugger right now.
Oops.
Their last mistake, truly.
It's like passing to LeBron. I'm just watching the dunk.
Hey, you know what? I've come up null or near null on this macro before. Oh, and then it's +2. Okay, cool. Yeah, we're only rolling 13 on these. Okay, that one's cocked. So after these 2, let's see if I can run up the score. That was also... How did you land on top of other dice? That's just funny. Oh, and there's another one. So that didn't roll, but I did notice one that I missed. So there's a total of 3.
3 damage with fire?
Yeah.
All right, one
Yep.
sec.
Plus whatever the plas
Mhm.
cutter does as damage, but it's 3 successes.
Are we also doing an ox plant?
I'll tell you now, you don't need to.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
it's a
Face,
squish baby.
face huggers don't have that kind of health. But I do need to, but I am, real quick, I am checking. There's one thing I do have to check.
Oh yeah, does it have acid?
It does.
Yeah. When you burn it, maybe.
That's what I'm looking up. I'm trying to see if there's
I
a
mean,
special
that
rule for that.
that would make sense that you'd auto cauterize. Like it would be really.
Not with aliens, though. Not
Really?
their bodies are specifically pressurized to spew acid when they are killed or breached in any way. It's an evolutionary defense system that they use. So if any of their
explode.
yeah, essentially the sacs in their body, if any of the skin breaks, they can literally weaponize their own blood.
I also explode when
And
I'm unhappy.
while fire is certainly enough to stop like an explosive geyser of bleeding, there is still the one attack of acid splash that looks like there's nothing here that indicates that fire neutralizes the acid. It still happens. So
I mean, certainly we can certainly
I
say the
rolled
acid is
successes.
flammable. I mean, physics are still going to physics,
Zero
and
successes.
no alien evolves beyond it. But
Zero successes. So the acid does spurt out of the dying creature as you roast it right here in the open atmosphere, and it lights up in front of you. The flames begin to flicker down, but the creature screeches. You can hear it loudly. Anybody on the flight deck can hear it as it screeches and dies in your hands, Isaac. The fire is extinguished quickly as it crackles and finally grows still. The power of the tail, though, like a whip that is just coiled around your arm, because as soon as you grabbed it, it went like a snake. It takes you a few moments to finally dislodge the wrapped tail as oxygen continues to vent. But as that has happened and you've neutralized the facehugger, Martha, I need you to make another stamina roll. This is another check. This is the last roll you have to make before you charge up that ramp and get inside the Ilios.
before we get too far, did I have to roll acid damage?
No, I rolled it.
Or
I
okay.
rolled-
I mean,
I rolled-
armor, soaking armor.
No, I rolled 0 successes.
Oh,
None of
okay.
the acid got on you.
Thank you.
Nice.
I would like to take a ox point.
Do it.
Por
Do it.
favor.
What
Okay.
a coincidence! We'd also like you to take an
please,
ox
do,
point.
please.
All
We
right, this
have
one
that
is-
in common.
Ox point is from Aether Spoon. Thank you so much.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much.
Super punks.
Okay. 1 ox point. 1 success. However,
One
1 face
success?
hugger.
Okay.
So
then-
2 total success, 1 face hugger. So let me roll my panic.
Not
Oh,
another one.
Yeah, roll your panic die.
It's
Yeah.
okay.
No. Oof. Beautiful. It's clean. It's nothing.
Do
on
keep
that.
in mind, you also gained it every time you roll that face, you gain additional points of stress
Yeah.
that adds immediately to that roll. So just keep that in mind.
Does it just auto add that on the demi? No, it doesn't.
Oh,
Okay, I'll add it.
Yeah, it should.
Ooh, I'm
If
at
you do-
5.
Yeah.
We'll get you. We'll get you.
Okay. So you rolled 1 success.
I rolled 1 and I got 1 from Story Point.
Okay.
So
So you got
2
2 successes
total.
total.
Yeah.
Okay. Martha, you're tough as fuck. You're a colonial marine. You are fighting off the effects of freezing temperatures and hypoxia while being dosed with radiation and fighting through an atmosphere that's causing your eyes to burn. But you get up that ramp intact. The door opens and you see Tig's horrified face behind her EV helmet pull you into the Ilios, into just like right on top of her as the door goes collapsing down behind you. And immediately the airlock starts to vent and fill with a safe atmosphere. And as you see the levels starting to grow, you manage to finally take your first breath, and the exertion, your mouth is completely dry. There's a horrible metallic taste that's built up in the back of your throat from that initial impulse. You also think maybe you almost threw up a little bit as you took that first pull off of the helmet. Your eyes, however, just burn like you've been holding them open and taking blasts of air to the face. They just burn. Blurry vision, but you can see Tig.
Yeah, Tig, you've been on the wrong side of Tig's horrible triage bedside manner before. So you immediately, like, when she gets you in, you're upright by like manhandling. She's got both hands on your face and is like she's got her med kit with you. Can I like flush her eyes? Can I like get her can I take vitals? Can I make sure she's okay?
Yeah. Essentially, immediately inside the airlock is an emergency kit, and it's quick to just move over, pry open the wall panel, grab a face mask, and press it to her face.
Yeah.
As she gets air, just you can see Tig. She has frostbite already on the sides of her face, like where her cheeks are. You can see the skin has turned bright hot pink and is peeled away a little bit. You can see moisture. There's icicles that have formed a little bit in her hair, just from like residual breath from inside the helmet that
My
collected
ears are
mentally.
probably.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just in that brief moment of time, she got kissed by some pretty frigid temperatures, and she's breathing remarkably. She's looking back at you as you're taking these deep breaths, Martha. You're okay. You
Yeah,
are
we're running.
okay.
Yeah. Running ABCs, making sure everything. Yeah.
Yeah, you were exposed to minus 80 degrees Fahrenheit there for a hot second, and it was enough to kind of shock your system.
As someone who's been in negative 80 degrees before, it's not fun.
That sudden atmospheric change, you sit there as Tig holds you, taking deep breaths. Meanwhile, outside, you slowly rise up from your squatting position, holding this dead creature in your hand, and glance back towards that ship. And each of you in this moment, as you hear Martha through the comm, just taking deep breaths, there's a quiet that settles onto the ship as you all begin to realize what's probably waiting for you on Delphini. And that is where we are stopping.
Oh.
Ah!
I need everybody to know that Sam called Facehugger about
I saw it.
15 seconds before the
So did
Facehugger
chat.
appeared in
Chat
chat.
thought it was going to be an egg. Chat thought it was going to be an egg.
Which, you
And
know,
I was like, that's
I
smart.
should-
Yeah, I could see that.
You know what
No, you
should've
don't open a
done?
box
3x3.
and not have jumped out of the box.
What I intended to and didn't follow through on was actually like jostle the box to see if anything moved inside. Like I don't like that was my intention. I just didn't do it.
I'm prepared. So the twisted thing.
I'm prepared to face hugger you no matter what.
It would have, yeah.
The twisted thing about these creatures is the level of instinct in which they function. Much like baby sharks know when a predator is approaching while they're inside their egg sacs, they know to grow still. Shaking
Yeah,
the box is
yeah.
not going to reveal anything.
Yeah.
The
Not
moment
surprised.
the moment the containment unit opened, the face hugger was ready to go. Like,
It's like finally.
yeah,
Someone to
um,
play with.
its sole purpose. All right, everybody, let's give some XP real quick before we head out. You participated in the game session, so everybody gets 1 XP.
Woo!
Did you risk something did you risk or sacrifice something to further your personal agenda? You get to decide that. Do you think your characters did that this evening? Did you risk something? I might say Doc did.
yeah, I was.
Yeah.
I would say
like.
I would say
Hmm.
Doc did. Yeah, I would say Doc did. Did you risk your life for a buddy or PC? It's debatable, but I'm gonna say yes, because it's not beyond the realm of possibility that a facehugger could have done some harm to Isaac. But
Hell yeah.
Didn't risk my life.
no, I think you might be right. Yeah, I think
I'm
you were
perfectly
you
happy
were-
not taking.
You were enough of an opponent of a facehugger that I don't think your life was in danger. However,
Martha's short, yeah. Extremely in danger.
No, I don't think
Organic's
Martha
at
did either.
risk.
Martha
Well, I
did
didn't.
not.
Yeah,
Martha
I didn't know.
Yeah, Martha
What I
didn't.
was-
Yeah, you weren't. Yeah.
You don't get an
stepping
XP for stepping on a landmine, but you do
Yeah.
get an XP if you throw yourself on a landmine to stop somebody else from stepping on a landmine.
Yes.
Did you challenge or stand up to a rival? No, not this time. Oh yeah, panic rolls, gain an XP. Did you overcome a dangerous event? Yes.
Just a little.
XP there. Did you make a significant discovery? Yes. I would say you uncovered a very significant piece of the puzzle. In fact, I would say you uncovered some lore that's been sitting in my GM's folder for the past 2 years. Did you perform extraordinary action of some kind? I mean, it was a cool action scene, but probably not. Did you earn any money? Yes, this week you technically earned money. Your payday came up this time around.
Nice. I need a
um,
raise after this.
Yeah.
Shit. Yeah, Connor right now, who's been watching all of this, and is probably gonna go up and is
We're gonna be
probably-
down a pilot again by the
Yeah,
time. we get
Connor's
home.
really debating his career choices. He thought Beacon was going to be.
I feel like there's no debate. This was a bad choice.
Yeah.
That is going to bring an end to our session tonight, though, friends. Please do feel free to join us next Monday night for the next chapter of this season of Beacon. We're getting close to the end. Also, before we move forward, though, I do want to thank everybody. Ox Crew points were spent again tonight. Of course, these are super punks, and we thank you, but we thank every single member of the Stream Punks community, all of our Ox crew who support us, that have helped us continue telling these stories since we left our home over at GNS and found a new one for ourselves. Thank you so much. This group owes everything to you, and we love you for it. Thank you. We will see you next Monday of Beacon.
On Sunday for Predator Watch Along, if you're a member of
Monday
the
on
Stream Punks
Predator
Discord.
Watch Along.
And we'll see some of y'all
and
tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
So some Stream Punks content headed your way this week. Thank you again. Until then, though, this is the crew of the Ilios signing off.